What's up guys, welcome to another gardening video on my channel. Today we are going to be talking about 10 crops that you should be growing in February. We're going to talk about the veggies, we're going to give you some herbs, and we're also going to give you some of the flowers as well. We're going to also sprinkle some companion plants, so that they all have friends, okay? And then I'm also going to talk about whether you should direct sow them or you can transplant them. Let's go straight into the video. So the first one we have is cabbage. Cabbage, a really nice one to be growing in February, does really well in this month. So start growing some cabbage for that. Cabbage, you can direct sow this. This one doesn't really have an issue with actually when you direct sow them. If you prefer transplanting, then do some transplants. So it doesn't really matter which one you choose. This one goes really well with the boy over here, some marigold. It goes really well with marigold because cabbage attracts aphids, and aphids don't like some marigolds. So at least if you pair it up with the marigolds, it can deter the aphids. Then another companion plant is chamomile. Chamomile actually enhances the flavor of the cabbage, so make sure that you are pairing it up with the chamomile. And then last but not least, we have the beetroot. Beetroot does well with this. They don't actually fight for the same nutrients, and they can also improve the soil for the cabbage. Another nice thing about cabbage is that you can also grow these in pots. If you're growing them in the ground and you're growing numerous amounts, just make sure that they have a bit of a spacing. And I would say maybe you see just like maybe a hand space difference, that would be good enough for them to grow. Beetroot is a great one to have in the garden to start it right now in February. This is a root crop, so just make sure that you're actually direct sowing this. I also saw that some people actually have found success in also transplanting the beetroot. For me, a general rule with root crops is that I don't really like transplanting them. I like to direct sow them. Things like carrots, beetroot, direct sow. I just found more success with that. Yeah, you can also do these in pots. They're great to actually be growing in pots. They don't require too much space. You can actually put a lot close together. You can pair beetroot up with garlic. This one gets rid of the pests that are attracted to the beetroot. Then you can also grow some radish. So radish is another root crop. They can grow relatively close to each other, so they don't really fight for each other's nutrients. And then also we have lettuce. Lettuce is another one that grows really well with beetroot. This one provides some ground cover for the actual beetroot, which if it's a root crop, the soil needs to be great, so the lettuce actually helps with the soil as well. So get that in, get the beetroot in. So talking about lettuce, this is the next one to be growing in February. Look how nice. Lettuce is a great one to be growing, guys. Grow this one. Fast growing, easy to grow, and it's also not so temperamental, okay? So this one is really great if you have kids or you want to see crops growing really quickly. Lettuce is the choice, okay? This one is really nice to be growing if you want fast results and also a fast harvest. Okay, so this one you can actually direct sow, transplant, grow it in pots, grow it in soil, whatever you want. This is the most, lettuce is a very easy crop to be growing. So lettuce goes really well with the boys, the tomatoes. You can also pair this up with some spinach as well. Make sure that you are pairing it up with some spinach as well. And then you can also pair it with some Brussels sprouts. So some Brussels sprouts will do really well with the lettuce. So definitely I would say get that in, man. Get that in. So speaking of Brussels sprouts is another one that you should be growing in February. Get it in, guys, get it in. And you can see I have some trays. So with Brussels sprouts, the best thing to do is actually start them in trays. Start them with the transplants, then transplant them into the garden. So definitely I would suggest that you start them in trays, and I'm also going to be doing that. If you want to see how I do this, I'm gonna create a video on the Wednesday, so check that out. I'm going to show you how to actually grow in the seed trays. So Brussels sprouts actually grows really well with nasturtium, nasturtium. So nasturtium, you know, it keeps away the pests that are attracted to the Brussels sprouts. So get the nasturtium right next to the Brussels sprouts. Then we also have some thyme that goes really well with the Brussels sprouts. The thyme actually helps enhance the growth of these guys. Okay, so you know, get some thyme in there. And then last but not least, we have some kale. So kale, if you have some kale in the garden already, pair them up with the Brussels sprouts. Actually, kale is supposed to be grown in the next month. So if you're growing some Brussels sprouts, just make some space for the kale so that you can grow them next to the Brussels. Then the last of the veggies, we have broccoli. Broccoli should be growing right now. You guessed it, yes. So broccoli, just like the cabbage, you know, it also really likes the chamomile because it enhances the flavor. Pairing it with some sage, also that one deters some of the pests as well. And then beetroot as well. These ones go really well together without actually competing for the same nutrients, for the same space even. So get those in. I would say with broccoli, direct sow it. If you prefer starting from the trays, do from the trays. Doesn't really matter. I would say right now you can either direct sow or putting it in the trays. What I would say is that if you want to plant it in the pots, just maybe get one big pot and then plant the broccoli in there. Unfortunately, it is like a big crop. It gets really big, so just make sure that you do have enough space. If you are planting it in a pot, maybe have numerous pots that you can plant the broccoli inside. Then moving right along to the flowers, guys, I'm gonna tell you about my favorite flowers. We have nasturtium and we have some marigold. Those for me are my most favorite flowers, and you can grow them right now. So grow this nasturtium, okay, they look like this, and then grow some of the flowers, some of the marigold as well. So these deter pests, right? These are really good at deterring pests, especially for the cabbage. Some of the brassicas, obviously, most of the brassicas do really well with the marigold and the nasturtium. So pair them up because they really deter the aphids, stuff like that, where they actually get attracted really to the brassicas. And what I really like is that they also add a lot of color to the garden, which in turn also attracts the pollinators. So the pollinators will come, and then now they will help with the pollination of your actual crops. So definitely there's too many wins, okay, with the marigold and the nasturtium. You have to get them in, please. Then the herbs, moving straight along to the herbs, we have some sage, right? Sage is a really great one, deters some pests. Then we have some parsley, right? Parsley also goes really well with the tomatoes, right? So pair that up with the tomatoes and the lettuce. Then we have also some coriander. Coriander will do really well in the garden in Feb, so get those in, okay? Yeah guys, so that will bring me to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. Also, again, I have to remind you that the upload dates now, so I've added the Wednesday, so now it's Sunday to Wednesday. It's Sunday and Wednesday where I actually post, so make sure that you are checking out the Wednesday posts. And yeah, if you want to check out how I actually garden my garden, usually that's on the Wednesdays. And then also don't forget to become a member. It's gonna be the first link in the description. Guys, I love you all. Enjoy the happiest Sunday. It's February. It's a new month, new growth. Okay, I love you guys all. Love, peace, grow every single day.